2018 Mazda CX-5 SUV Review. The good points of Mazda CX-5 SUV. Distinctive styling inside and outside. Tons of ordinary equipment. Increased refinement levels. Agile handling with an SUV. Very competitive list prices. The bad points of Mazda CX-5 SUV. Official CO2 figures slightly high. Petrol engine lacks low rev punch. Steering are often more precise. Quality with a lack of entry-level cars. The Mazda CX-5 is really a mid-size SUV that climbs up against an ever-growing volume of off-road rivals. Sitting over the CX-3 compact crossover, this can be one with the Japanese company's biggest selling and the majority important models. Now in their second generation, the CX-5 sports Mazda's latest design language, using its sharp, angular lines, and is sold with several punchy diesel engines and also the rarity of a non-turbocharged petrol to pick from. The CX-5 faces stiff competition, though, the way it takes on from the Volkswagen Tiguan and Ford Kuga to Peugeot 3008, Kia Sportage and Hyundai Tucson. We ran one as being a long-termer for half a year. Observe how we got on. Mazda CX-5, familiar SKYACTIV engines and underpinnings. Despite the sharpened look, the CX-5 retains the strong diesel engines on the previous model, meaning you will have a 2.2-liter diesel with either 150 horsepower or 175 horsepower, and also a 165 horsepower 2.0-liter petrol. All use Mazda Skyactiv Technology to improve fuel economy and produce running costs down. Underneath our bodies, the CX-5's platform is 50% new. While tweaks are already made elsewhere to increase the sound deadening over the car, it's much quieter inside versus the previous model, and also the upgraded interior is additionally far more refined, far better quality, too. Good handling and improved equipment. Like all Mazdas, the CX-5 is usually a surprisingly agile handler, superior to most rivals, additionally, on par with many smaller hatchback models. As well being a stiffer body, this CX-5 benefits on a rather wordy G-vectoring control, which will help tighten up your vehicle's handling a step forward. The previous model had began to fall behind inside equipment stakes though. This new CX-5 packs in lots of contemporary tech, as being a powered tailgate, new head-up display and heated controls. Even the entry-level models include tons of normal kit, so whichever version you select, you're planning to get basically all the kit you might want, without needing to head to your options list and pay more. Latest deals from Buick are: Mazda CX-5 2.2D, 175, Sport NAF, £29,500, or £405 monthly. Mazda CX-5 2.2D Sail Lux NAF 5D, £12,589, or £182 a month. See all deals on Mazda CX-5. Representative example, representative APR of 7.9%, borrowing £10,509 over 48 months on HP-type finance. The quantity payable can be £250 on a monthly basis. That has a total cost of credit of £1,483 as well as a total amount payable of £11,992. Dennis Buick Car Limited, 3132 Alfred Place, London, WC1E7DP, GB09151058, is really a credit broker regulated by FCA, FRN:667368. The verdict. The Mazda CX-5 SUV faces a hardcore challenge in tearing buyers away in the likes of established off-roaders such as Ford Kuga, Kia Sportage and Volkswagen Tiguan. Mazda hopes that this combination of angular KODO styling and SKYACTIV fuel-saving tech, as well as a raft of normal high-end kit, is going to be enough to have drivers' attention. The second generation CX-5 starts where the previous car left off by sharp handling for that class, but this car offers much greater refinement, rendering it feel additional upmarket. The fantastic diesel engines are another high point. Watch the entire Mazda CX-5 review why it deserves your attention. 1 petrol as well as diesels available. Choose from 150 horsepower and 175 horsepower diesels. Manual, auto, 2 and all-wheel drive available. The engine lineup incorporates a 2.0-litre petrol and a couple of 2.2-litre diesels. These are unchanged on the previous car, with the exception of clever new tech to reduce noise inside diesels. A word of advice in order to avoid confusion when going to a Mazda showroom. The firm no more refers for the engines by their capacities in litres, instead simply utilizing their power figures in PS, just like HP. Petrol engine. There's just one choice here and it's a SKYACTIV-G 165 PS, 2.0-litre, motor, with 2-wheel drive plus a manual gearbox. As heartening the way it is to determine a non-turbocharged petrol engine still available for sale, in reality it feels outside of its depth within a large SUV, particularly if encounter almost any hill. As such, 0 to 62 miles per hour takes 10.4 seconds and progress uphill is leisurely. If you're originating from a diesel or turbocharged petrol SUV, deficiency of punch at low and middling engine speeds in this particular version is likely to feel quite alien. It requires to be rev tough to unlock its performance. Even then, that is far from a simple car. Having to figure the engine not easy to make brisk progress can be fine inside a 2-seater sports car like Mazda's MX-5, but it's a touch too much of an effort in a very family car such as CX-5. Diesel engines. There are two 2.2-litre options here and both feel more suited for this CX-5 versus the petrol. Things kick off using a SKYACTIV-D 150 PS unit, the projected bestseller, and it's provided with both 2 or 4-wheel drive, as well as a manual or automatic gearbox. The front-driven manual will be the fastest of the, taking 9.4 seconds for getting from 0 to 62 miles per hour, together with being probably the most economical to operate, with claimed economy of 56.5 miles per gallon. While not hundreds of miles quicker from the benchmark sprint versus the more powerful petrol, it takes much less effort thanks to an awful lot of muscle, regardless of the engine's speed, thanks to its turbocharger. Most powerful of all could be the SKYACTIV-D 175 PS version with the 2.2-litre diesel. It's all-wheel drive only, however you can pick a manual or automatic gearbox. Again, the manual would be the fastest, racing from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 9.0 seconds. The difference between this plus the lesser 150 horsepower model sounds small, though the 175 horsepower model feels much quicker in reality while using engine offering a really broad SP watch of power. Gearboxes. 2 choices here, manual and automatic, and both have 6 speeds. The petrol engine is manual only, however the diesels can be found with either box. The manual is normal Mazda, reasonably tight and accurate throws, having a mechanical think that makes it as pleasing to use than an SUV needs to be, especially with the more efficient diesel in the bonnet. Impressions in the automatic alternative are fantastic. Shift across into manual mode plus the lever turns into a sequential shifter, downshift by pushing away and upshift by pulling nearer. It might not could be seen as much, but Mazda is among the few manufacturers that can doing all this correctly. Most others have up and down shifts inside the opposite direction. That's far less intuitive when traveling. More fun than you'd expect from an SUV. Good steering and high quantities of grip. Slick tech makes CX-5 sharper from the bends. Driving enjoyment is Mazda's business, and for that most part the CX-5 falls into line together with the manufacturer's current run of satisfying steers. It doesn't deliver quite exactly the same enjoyment as being the company's smaller hatchback and saloon models, however you wouldn't expect it to. This is often a tall and cozy family crossover, which cannot escape the laws of physics. Innovations on this occasion include improved steering and braking, including a 15% stiffer body, taking into account more comfortable suspension and handling ability. Where the CX-5 shines happens when turning into corners. The Mazda responds neatly to turns with the nicely weighted steering, together with the new to this model G vectoring control. Don't bother about how this works, just be aware of it improves the dexterity in this large SUV, so that it is feel more nimble. There's some body roll, but it's well controlled, without wallowing, and mid-corner the CX-5 demonstrates huge and balanced grip levels, particularly in AWD models. The heavier 175 horsepower AWD diesel feels weighty around bends but inside a confidence-inspiring manner, and goes in which you point it, with additional precise steering compared to front-wheel drive 150 horsepower version, which includes slightly vaguer steering. Put the steering to one side, plus the front-driven CX-5 feels more agile when powering beyond corners, oddly, where it simply grips and goes. In AWD cars there's a small delay that you can minimize by pressing the accelerator sooner than normal and leaning on those huge traction levels. Entry-level LNAF models with smaller wheels and even more rubber between you, plus the road feels softer as well as the steering less precise. That extra rubber does mean it truly is smoother over bumps, though. Sport NAF trim makes interior feel a class above rivals. Great hatchback-style driving position adds sporty feel. Distinctive interior is stylish but remains easy to work with. The first Mazda CX-5 boasted a significantly nicer cabin than its mainstream rivals, having a spot-on driving position and BMW iDrive aping infotainment system, controlled having a dial inside the central tunnel, instead of a distracting touchscreen, just like many rivals. Material quality is great in each of the places you naturally look or touch, but you may still find some harder plastics in hard-wearing areas. Meanwhile, Sport NAF models feel an important rung above LNAF trim, so much in fact that it moves the CX-5 from as a value-oriented Kia Sportage rival to be able to stand alongside the pricey Volkswagen Tiguan. Changes for your new model include silver highlights about the doors and dash, that happen to be aligned horizontally together with the center of the controls, giving the lining the illusion of greater width. High-spec models make use of attractive wood trim and soft leather padding for the lower dash, but cheaper cars have hard plastic you are able to bang your knee into. Interestingly, the head-up display is projected to the windscreen rather than piece of plastic, which looks a good deal nicer. The center console is above before, bringing the shift lever closer towards the wheel, itself a different design, along with the two armrests are at a similar height so that you don't need to sit wonkily anymore. As a result, it is possible to adjust the seat to restore feel like you're sat inside a tall hatchback having a laid-back position, rather versus the upright stance needed when driving many SUVs. Much improved interior refinement. Good ride quality considering road holding. Redesigned seats up for the longest journey. Here's where Mazda reckons it's made its largest improvements: time frame, amount of noise, vibration and harshness demonstrated from the CX-5. The key here ended up being to allow all passengers to only hold a conversation at speed. As such, you recruit a thicker windscreen, new door seals, tighter panel gaps and extra sound deadening. This decreases the level of tire and wind noise, these being the downfall from the last CX-5, along with the result is usually a hushed and cozy cabin, in fitting with Mazda's seek to make this model an even more mature proposition. There's a bit of any firm edge towards the ride over really bad surfaces, but for the whole the CX-5 rides perfectly, especially impressive if you think about its handling prowess. It's similarly strong around the engine noise front. The diesel engines, especially, are smooth and quiet in contrast to rivals. Work them hard and you may hear the underbonnet work occurring. However, if anything, the somewhat sporty noise adds to your driving experience as opposed to detracting as a result. Fantastic seats. Really bolstering comfortableness levels will be the CX-5's front seats, which can be nicely sculpted and provide plenty of support. This obviously helps when driving quickly. Nevertheless, you'll glance at the benefit regardless if you're just cruising. The rear seats also have undergone a reworking and from now on offer a reclining mechanism to assist passengers get comfortable, plus there's 2 air conditioning vents to ensure they are cool. An armrest, which folds away into the middle seat, that's reasonable to sit down in so long as you don't mind straddling the tall center console, hides 2 USB ports and heated seat controls, dependent upon specification, certainly. Headroom and side back is wonderful but legroom is definitely average. The rear doors open really wide though, so fitting a kid's seat will likely be easy. Even entry-level SAIL nav full of kit. Top spec Sport nav has everything you might want. All get LED lights, nav and all-round parking sensors. Keeping things simple, listed below are trim levels called SAIL nav and Sport nav. Both feature sat nav as you'd expect using their company names, including a long list of other desirable kit. Standard Mazda CX-5 SUV equipment. Kicking things off could be the base spec SAIL nav, that's normally the top middle trim in other Mazda models, and as a result it includes loads of kit. 17-inch alloy wheels. LED headlights including daytime running lights and front fog lights. Power folding door mirrors and privacy glass. Black cloth seat trim with height adjustable front seats and reclining rear seats. Leather-wrapped leader and knob. Auto-dimming rear view mirror and electronic parking brake. Automatic lights and wipers with auto high beam. Front and rear parking sensors. Dual zone climate control. Cruise control. Sat-nav, DAB radio, Bluetooth and 7.0-inch color touchscreen with rotary dial to the infotainment system. Upgrade to Sport nav and you also get quite a lot more equipment. 19-inch alloys. Reversing camera. Powered tailgate. Leather upholstery. Electric front seats. Front seats are heated, out of the box the tire. Head-up display. Traffic sign recognition. Keyless entry. Bose multi-channel system. Optional Mazda CX-5 SUV extras. Seeing because top spec CX-5 is Alwachi perfectly equipped, there aren't a huge volume of things it is possible to pay to own added, save for metallic paint, a new leather trim, and also a safety pack, which we've explained within the safety section. Finally, you can decide adaptive cruise control, which now works the many way down to some standstill. New front-facing camera unlocks safety measures. Better adaptive cruise control plus emergency braking. 6 airbags and new LED headlights complete the amalgamation. Euro NCAP crash tested the second-generation CX-5 in 2017, awarding it the whole 5-star rating, having an impressive 95% score for adult occupant protection. The big news here could be the addition of the front-facing camera, together with existing radar, to bolster the safety measures offered with the Mazda CX-5. Adaptive cruise control may now work down to your stop, while adaptive LED headlights are brighter compared to norm and automatically dip in order to avoid dazzling other drivers. Autonomous emergency braking and traffic sign recognition will also be specified with the first time within a CX-5. There's and a lane keeping assistant, departure warning plus blind spot monitor and rear traffic alert. Other more conventional safety systems include anti-lock brakes, dynamic stability control, tractions control and hill start assist, plus 6 airbags. More space for smartphones and a lot of charging points. Plentiful rear seat storage with neatly hidden USB ports. Larger boot than previous model with 506 1,620 liters offered. Inside your vehicle, several revisions are actually made to accommodate smartphone and tablet charging. The storage spaces in front from the gear change and also the box in the driver's elbow tend to be larger, while the second features a tray to host your phone above any tins of travel sweets or loose change. There are 2 12-volt sockets inside front and also a USB socket and also a pair of cup holders, along with the glove box is actually big enough to install a 10-inch tablet device inside. In a corner you get 2 reasonably sized door pockets along with an armrest inside the 5th seat bag that neatly conceals 2 USB sockets and heated seat controls, according to specification. Magazine-sized pockets can also be stitched to your front seat backs. The boot is currently larger than before with 506 liters available up towards the cover. It's a usefully square shape and then there isn't much of any lip to lift heavy items over, although it's nearly flush using the floor. Fold the seats down and pack your vehicle up for the rafters high as 1,620 liters of space. A new boot floor and reorganized tool layout means the underfloor storage has risen from 10 to 30 liters, while cargo net hooks happen to be added to assist tie things down.